Alright. It is time to get into this podcast. What's going on, everybody? It is AndrewMycol, and welcome to the second podcast here on AndrewMycol Zero Nation. What's up, my man? I hope you're having a great Saturday. Feels great to finally have people viewing. But thank you all for coming to the live edition of the podcast. And today, we are going to be doing the WWE Money in the Bank 2019 predictions. I am going to run through the card as in the order that it is. It's Sunday, LMAO, and how about you? I'm doing pretty good. I am doing great. Also, I forgot you're in Portugal right now, and it's Sunday over there, but it is still Saturday right here in Mississippi. So, with that being said, let's get into the actual predictions. Now, normally I don't do these. Normally what I do is I do the predictions on Twitter. I type in everything this is what, this is the winners and all that. Lucky, yeah. Yeah. I live in Mississippi. It rained a little bit ago, but it's beautiful right now. That being said, let's get into the first match for Money in the Bank 2019. So how this is going to work is on the screen, I'm going to show the match. And then the next thing I'm going to show is the winners that I predict for each match. And there are 11 matches. That's right, 11 matches for Money in the Bank. It was beautiful. Nice. That's good, Zero. That's good. But there are 11 matches for Money in the Bank 2019. And I'm going to show the match itself. And I'm going to show who I predict to be the winner. And that's exactly how this podcast is going to go. So, first match here. We have Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan. Sasha Banks will win. Sasha Banks isn't even in the match. Well, then again, you may never know. It's WWE. They could throw a massive curve at us. So, honestly, I'm not going to rule anything out at this point because that's the one thing I will credit Vince McMahon for doing. And that is, he is very, whatchamacallit. In a way, usually he's unpredictable. I don't know, WWE, LMAO. Well, that's the thing. Sasha Banks was wrestling for WWE, but of course, whenever they took the title off of her and Bayley, it was oh, you know what now? She threw a tantrum, apparently. Her and Bayley threw a tantrum, but Bayley is still with the company. Sasha Banks is still employed by WWE, but because she threw that tantrum, she's on a leave right now. So, because of that, Hey, Christian, what's up, boo? Oh, shut up, Christian. Shut up, Christian. We know you don't like wrestling. We know you don't. Well, we have Eric Rowan and the Usos. Now, this is a non-title match and is the first match on the pre-show. So, because it is on the pre-show, it boggles my mind how Daniel Bryan is on the pre-show because he's such a great wrestler. However, the titles that Eric and Daniel Bryan have are not on the line, which I don't know why they aren't. But the Usos are on Raw now, and Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan are on SmackDown. And you're probably wondering, how the hell are the Usos able to do this? Well, with the genius that Vincent Kennedy McMahon is, he's basically made it to where any 4 or 5 Raw superstars can go to SmackDown, and any 4 or 5 SmackDown superstars can go to Raw. And since now the pay-per-views are for both, I forgot some wrestlers' names. Well, don't worry. I'm going to show the names for the wrestlers as well. So if you forget them, I'm going to show them. But anyways, the Usos, if you want to know how this happened for all my non-WWE fans, the Usos had a match on SmackDown against Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan. Shane McMahon basically gave Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan the titles. And the Usos were unable to undo what Shane did. And so that's how we got here. And so, my prediction for this, now let me get the picture. Hold on a second. I gotta get used to this now. Hold on. My prediction for this is, wait a minute. Wait, not that. Okay, there we go. Alright, gotta get used to doing this. So, my prediction is that Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan are gonna win. The reason I think that is that they just became the tag team champions 2 weeks ago. Really, honestly, in all honesty, even if it were for the titles, obviously you would want Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan to win, because it's not for the titles, I'm still going to go with Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. I think this is one of the matches that's 50-50 because it's one of those things Vincent freaking Kennedy McMahon loves doing. It's 50-50 booking. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it's like on one night, the champions will win. The other night, I'll go with the Usos. Yeah, honestly, it's a hard match to pick. It's really a hard match because the Usos can win this, and it's not for the title, so it's not like as if it's going to matter. But I think to build credibility for Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan, they need to win this one because the Usos beat them in a non-title match, but Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan beat them for the titles. And I think they really need to make Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan look strong. I think they absolutely need to do that. With that, I think Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan are going to win that. And I have all the winners I have picked on Notepad on my phone. And I will post all the winners that I picked tonight. I'm going to put all that on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, make sure you look in the description because my username is down there. So you can look down there for my Twitter handle. Alright, so the next match is a cruiserweight match. And we all know Vincent Kennedy McMahon does not watch 205 Live or NXT. That's why you see some of the NXT people absolutely get buried. So, we have Arya Daivari, who I have not watched 205 either, but from what I've heard, Arya Daivari has been a pretty good heel. Like, you know how Enzo Amore was like the annoying heel? Or Arya Daivari is like kind of uses like nationality and stupid stuff. Oh, I don't know these, LOL. Alright, so Arya Daivari and Tony Nese have both been here since 2016 with the Cruiserweight division and 205 Live. And I'm not surprised, Zero, you don't know these people. But obviously, these are the dudes that obviously 205 Live is always on the pre-show, which I'm not surprised it still is. But Tony Nese won the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania 35 on the kickoff show from Buddy Murphy. Arya Daivari somehow got some credibility to him, but I think it's way too early to take the title off Tony Nese. I think it's been, only 5 or 6 weeks since he won the title, so I honestly think it's too early to take it off of him. So because of that, I think this one's going to be a no-brainer for me. And I'm going to say Tony Nese is going to win this. And I think Tony Nese is going to absolutely knock it out of the park. And he is going to win this match. I haven't watched WWE in so long. I didn't know some wrestlers. But Arya will win. I think Arya has a good chance of winning. But the only thing is, I haven't watched 205 recently. But, that's all I can do. That's all I know at this point. Like, I think Tony Nese is one of those people where it's like, it could be better, it could be worse. But I think Tony has a good chance of keeping his title. It just makes sense to keep it there, honestly. Yeah, well, then again, Arya Daivari could be a really good heel champion, but we'll see. Now, the next one. The next match we have here, if I can find the thing, where the heck did I put it? Oh, here it is. We have Rey Mysterio with his son Dominic, which if you did not know, Dominic was supposedly supposed to be at ringside for Rey Mysterio, but then something happened, and for some reason he wasn't at ringside, for what I remember. And the match was only 15 seconds long, and Samoa Joe retained the championship he has against Rey Mysterio. Now, the reason Dominic is in the corner is that this time, Rey Mysterio went. Actually, the plan I've heard is that, this is a rumor I've heard, is that Dominic might turn heel, because if you didn't know, Dominic has been training at the Performance Center now that he's 20 years old. And Rey Mysterio also filed I think I also saw this on Google, he also filed a trademark for Prince Mysterio. So I think Dominic eventually is going to become a wrestler, but I think he might interfere in this one, and I think Samoa Joe needs to keep the U.S. title. He's only had it for a little while, honestly. He's had it a little bit before WrestleMania 35. I think it's still too early to take anything off Samoa Joe. He really needs to make the United States Championship feel special. So I think Samoa Joe is going to win this one. The reason is, like I said, because Dominic might interfere. And Dominic interfering is just something I can see happening. I'm not too strong on this one, honestly. Like, it's one of those things where I'm not really too for sure who could win this one, but I think majority of everyone's going to say that they're going to win this one. Also, I forgot to mention, this United States Championship match is the first match on the show. So that'll be what opens the show. The next match that will open the show is Shane McMahon, also known as the best in the world, against The Miz, who, if you do not know how this happened, for my non-WWE fans, before WrestleMania, there was, I think, Fastlane. Yeah, it was Fastlane. Fastlane was when Shane McMahon and The Miz lost their tag team titles to the Usos. And then, Shane McMahon and The Miz lost, and Shane McMahon turned his back on The Miz, and he beat up George Mizanin. And then at WrestleMania, George Mizanin got in the freaking ring and got beat up by Shane McMahon. And that's still going. And we are now going to a Shane McMahon versus The Miz in a steel cage match. And on top of that, for anyone who hasn't been watching, Shane McMahon has been teaming up with Elias and the B Team and Bobby Lashley, so anyone could interfere in this match. But I think the one person that's going to interfere in this match that can do some good and can actually even the odds is George Mizanin himself. So I think The Miz is going to be able to thwart Shane McMahon's little deal, and I think The Miz is easily going to win this one. I think he absolutely is going to win this one. Honestly, it's because of the fact that I think someone's going to interfere, but it's going to help The Miz in a good way, and they're going to end this feud, and they're going to go on with Shane versus Roman Reigns. Speaking of Roman Reigns is going to be fighting against Elias. And that's going to be the third match, right? The third match, yeah. It's the third match on the show. I honestly, do I even have to explain anything? Look, we all know how much Vince loves Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns' comeback story has been amazing. Roman Reigns has only had one pay-per-view victory coming out of him coming back from him having leukemia, and now he's still in remission. And I think this is a no-brainer. I think Roman Reigns is going to win this match. He's going to get beat up by Elias. Shane McMahon's going to get out there, but I think Roman Reigns is still going to win this match regardless. I mean, it's really a no-brainer, honestly, because Roman Reigns is obviously a star when it comes to everything. When it comes to WWE, I think he is a really strong star. Speaking of a really strong star, we need to talk about the next match. Now, I need to mention one more thing. Now that we're at this match, after Roman Reigns and Elias, one more thing I need to say is that the order from here on is going to be different. So, whatever actually happens at Money in the Bank, from this match forward, the order that I've put these matches in is not going to be the same because we don't know what the order is from here. Everyone is saying this is the next match that's coming, but I honestly don't know because they might tease a Money in the Bank cash-in tonight. Not tonight, but tomorrow night. But we'll see. But we have Kevin Owens versus Kofi Kingston. Now, the plan is that for Kevin Owens to still stay in Kofi Kingston's corner, but the problem with that is that Big E got injured. Because Big E got injured, what happened was Kevin Owens then transitioned into the heel, and now we have Kofi versus Kevin Owens. However, I think Sami Zayn might interfere. I don't know. But because of the wild card rule, he can do that. And the thing is, that's exactly what happened on Tuesday night. Well, Sami Zayn came out and helped Kevin Owens beat up Kofi Kingston, but Kofi Kingston thwarted them and kept them from doing that. And the reason I'm going to pick Kofi Kingston for this one is because of the fact that the reason I'm picking him, the reason I'm doing this and going with Kofi Kingston really is because of the fact that I think it's too early to take the title off Kofi Kingston. You know, he won it at WrestleMania. It was a pretty good feel-good moment for everyone. And I think him winning was a really good decision by WWE. And I think it's still too early to take it off of him. And I think the way he loses his title is because of a Money in the Bank cash-in. I think whoever wins the Money in the Bank briefcase is going to cash in probably on Kofi Kingston. I mean, it could happen with Seth Rollins as well, but honestly, I think that might be a little too early for that. So I'm going to go with Kofi Kingston on that one. Now, like I said, the order from here on is going to change. So I'm thinking the next match might be AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins, but I'm doubtful that's going to be the next match after the WWE Championship, because like I said, from here on, the order changes. So what you actually see on Money in the Bank might be a different order than what I have it. But how I have it is that the next match, I just went ahead and just put the championships together. So the next two matches are going to be the women's matches, and the last two are going to be the Money in the Bank matches. But like I said, the order can possibly change. So we have AJ Styles taking on Seth Rollins, who is the current Universal Champion. And also, if you're wondering how I got these pictures on here on this little background, I went on Canva and I was like, you know, I could use GIMP and do all this, but I think I want to keep it simple. And I want to keep a simple little design here. So I just went on Canva, found a gradient background, and I just went with that. I could have made my own gradient, but I just went with the first thing I saw. And it was green, so I was figuring, you know, it's green. Green resembles money in a way. And so I just went with that. Now, AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. And yes, I got the pictures off WWE.com. I do not own these pictures. These absolutely came from WWE.com. Now, this all depends on what happens in the Money in the Bank match, whether it goes on first, whether it goes on last. I'm expecting Seth Rollins to win this match, but something's going to happen in this match depending on who goes first and depending on who goes last. If this is the main event of the show, then I'm going to expect AJ Styles to really turn heel, because Seth Rollins right now is a babyface. Seth Rollins is a babyface, and it's really too early to take the title off of him anyways. And AJ Styles, I think they might keep this feud going, honestly. Like, if they did do that, I think it would be great. But if they don't turn him heel, then that's totally fine, honestly. But I think it's too early if they take the title off Seth. And I think AJ Styles might turn heel in this one. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. Now, we are going to transition now into the women's matches. So if I can find... There it is. Okay, so here's what I'm predicting. So the next match, in any order, it depends on how this order goes. So, like I said, the order from here on is different from what you might see tomorrow night on the WWE Network. So, how I'm thinking this is going to happen is that I heard it might be Raw going first. I heard it might be Lacey Evans' turn to try to get the title before Charlotte Flair does it. Or it could be vice versa. I honestly don't know. So, I'm just going to go with SmackDown, then Raw. And so, as we can see, Becky Lynch is still a Becky 2-belt. And so, because of that, Becky Lynch is fighting against Charlotte Flair to try to keep the SmackDown Live Women's Championship that she won at WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair has been going on a tangent recently saying that Becky Lynch never pinned her, but Becky Lynch beat Ronda Rousey. So, truly, Becky Lynch won the Raw Women's Championship. But my thing is, I am expecting maybe she could keep both titles. I think it's still a little too early to take that off of her. But now that we have the wild card rule, there's really no rush in getting rid of the titles. And so I am thinking Charlotte Flair is going to try really hard to get the title. But I think Becky Lynch, I'm going to play it safe. Okay, so if you don't know who Cultaholic is, they were basically the OGs for What Culture Wrestling, but because they had they had some backstage things happening, they formed Cultaholic. And what Jack the Jobber did, if you don't know who Jack the Jobber is, I'll leave it to this. So what he did is he predicted Becky Lynch to win both matches. And I thought to myself, that is a really brilliant strategy. And it's kind of like with any test. You know, if you have a multiple choice test and the same question comes up twice, and if the answers switch up, it's like, do you pick one answer and for the next duplicate question you pick a different answer? Or do you pick the same answer if you're confident? Because you can either get both right or both wrong if you pick two. But if you really play it safe, you can pick one answer and then go with the other answer. That way you can at least get 50% correct. And 50% is better than 0. But if you want to be really risky, 100% is better than 50. So I think because there's 3 options here that could happen, Becky Lynch could either A, keep both titles, B, she can lose the Raw Women's Championship but keep the SmackDown one, C, she can lose the SmackDown one and win the Raw one, or D, she can lose both of them, which I think is really, really doubtful. And I think what I'm going to do is play it safe like Jack the Jobber did. And I'm going to say Becky Lynch is going to win this match. And she's also potentially going to win the match between her and Lacey Evans. So if you don't know who Lacey Evans is, she got called up back, I think, in January? I want to say January after the Royal Rumble. Excuse me. And so, because of this... Okay, whatever. And so because of this, Becky Lynch and... What was this? Okay, yeah. I messed him up. I'm stupid. So Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans are obviously gonna, do their thing as well. And honestly, I can see Lacey Evans winning by some dick move. But honestly, to me, it seems like it's way too early to try that stuff. Like, I think it's way too early to pull off anything with that, with Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans. And I think it's one of those things where even if Lacey Evans tries something and does the women's right, is what Lacey Evans calls her finishing move, I think it's way too early to take the title off Becky Lynch. Honestly, I could see Becky Lynch going into a feud with Lacey Evans for the Raw Women's Championship. And I think Becky Lynch is going to end her feud with Charlotte Flair. So... But I think I'm going to play it safe. And Becky Lynch could end the feud with Charlotte, but keep going with Lacey Evans, even having the both titles, because I think that would, I guess in a way that makes sense. But I think I'm going to play it safe, and I'm just going to go and, pick Becky Lynch to win both matches. So I either get one of them right, or I get both wrong. Or I could be dead wrong on both of them. So now we get on to the gimmick of the show. And we have the WWE Women's Money in the Bank match. And of course, if you've never seen Money in the Bank, how this works, 8 superstars compete to climb a ladder and retrieve a briefcase. Whoever successfully gets the briefcase, inside the briefcase is a contract to where you can cash in on any champion, mainly the main championships, but where it be the Raw or SmackDown champions, you can cash in on them any time. But you have to be in a WWE ring to do it, which is stupid, because I don't see why they can't do the hardcore rule and make it to where anytime, any place, 24/7, but that's just my thing. And really, my thing with this is, if you notice this in the middle, Alexa Bliss was scheduled to compete with this match, but WWE did not clear her. And because of this, I went back in and did WWE.com, and I put in Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross was from NXT, and she is now replacing Alexa Bliss. So we have 8 women in this match. So we have Ember Moon, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Nikki Cross, Bayley, Natalya, Naomi, and Carmella. So all 8 of these women are going to compete for the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. Whoever wins it gets an opportunity to cash in their Money in the Bank briefcase for a anytime opportunity to go for the championship. And my prediction, I've seen a lot of people talking about this. I have seen a lot of people talking about this. And I know I cropped it out. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. I cropped it weird. I think Bayley is going to win this match. The reason I think she's going to win this match, I've heard rumors that whatever order they do the women's matches, because I know the women's matches are going to be back to back, but depending on what order they go in, and since Bayley is a SmackDown superstar, but at the same time they have the wild card rule, so honestly they can go with either title and it would still work, but she's a SmackDown person, so maybe someone's going to interfere in one of those 2 matches. And if the women's match goes before the women's championship matches, then Bayley might come out there and, try to interfere, try to keep someone cheating, and then Bayley might turn heel. She might turn heel. And I know it's a crazy, stupid thing to think that we live in a time where Bayley, who is a super mega good guy, can turn heel. We live in a crazy world where Bayley, it's a possibility for her to turn heel if she wins that briefcase. And if she wins that Money in the Bank briefcase with the contract in it. Because then she can cash in on whoever is the SmackDown champion. So I think it's a really good rumor, and I think it's not a bad idea. But this might be outlandish, but we'll see. We will see about that. And now we go to the last match, and it is the men's Money in the Bank match. The men's Money in the Bank match, I'm sorry. We have the men's Money in the Bank match for 2019, and we have 8 superstars, including Finn Balor, who is the current Intercontinental Championship. Finn Balor's not a championship, he's a champion. Sorry. So we have 8 people fighting for this. We have Andrade Cien Almas, now known as Andrade. Damn you, Vincent Kingdom Man. We also have Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, Ali, and also Randy Orton. I was going to say Randall Keith. Is it Randall Kendall Orton? Is it Randall Keith Orton? Yeah, it's Randall Keith Orton, yeah. So, we have 8 superstars that are trying to get the the Money in the Bank briefcase for the contract. Now, there have been a lot of rumors about this match. And obviously, it's a good thing to have that many rumors, because any of these superstars have a good chance of winning. But I'm going to go one by one and I'm going to tell you why 7 of these aren't going to win. Number 1, Finn Balor. He's the Intercontinental Champion. Why does he need to win the Money in the Bank contract? And we've never seen that. We've never seen a United States or an Intercontinental Champion grab the contract. We've never seen that. It's not going to happen this year. Finn Balor not winning. Ali, look, Ali has a good fighting chance to win this, but no one I have seen is picking him. Same thing with Ricochet. Ricochet, those are the 3 good guys in the match. And for me, it seems like we've had so many heel people win the Money in the Bank briefcase. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do with this match. So all the good guys, Ricochet, Finn Balor, and Ali, are not winning this. They are not winning this. I can see it. They're not going to happen. Now, we look at Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin could be a 2-time Money in the Bank briefcase winner. I don't think that's going to happen. Last time he won it, he squandered that in like 10 seconds. Randy Orton, he's a dark horse. Not many people are picking him. He could obviously win, and it should be a surprise to everyone. But I honestly don't see that happening either. Now we get to 3 people who have the biggest odds of winning this match. Now, because we now have the wild card rule, and because Sami Zayn showed up, on SmackDown last week, I see the odds of Sami Zayn winning go from nothing to kind of high. Because also a report I heard backstage from WWE is that whoever wins this match is going to be booked to become a star. So whoever wins this match can become a star, and they will book him like a star. Sami Zayn, to me, is not someone Vince would push. Okay, I gotta stop calling Vince. I gotta start calling Vince. Okay. Sami Zayn is someone that I don't see Vince pushing to be a star. Sami Zayn, however, does seem like someone that would help Kevin Owens beat up Kofi Kingston. But I don't think Sami would win this. He might. Absolutely, he might win this. Same thing with Andrade and Drew McIntyre. Those are three superstars, especially Andrade and Drew McIntyre. Both of them have really good, equal odds of winning. And from what I heard about them pushing someone as a big megastar, to me, it seems like, from what I heard, Vince is really happy with what Andrade is doing. He is really happy with what Andrade is doing. And Drew McIntyre is really good as well. But because of what I heard about Vince really liking Andrade, and now Andrade can speak some English and Spanish, and since Fox demanded Vince to put Andrade on SmackDown, because if SmackDown moves to Fox, they wouldn't have had a Spanish wrestler. So, because of this, I really think Andrade has a slight advantage over Drew McIntyre backstage. And I'm thinking Andrade is going to win the contract. And him with Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega is somehow going to get interfered in one of the championship matches down the road. Especially the WWE Championship. Kofi Kingston's going to be fighting someone. And then next thing you know, Zelina Vega is going to cost Kofi Kingston a match. Probably when Kofi Kingston gets cashed in on. I'm really thinking whoever wins the contract is going to cash in on Kofi. Because I think Seth Rollins is good as a Universal Champion. And honestly, Drew McIntyre can win it without the contract. Drew McIntyre can win the match against Seth Rollins without having to cash in. Andrade, as a Money in the Bank winner, makes a bit more sense than Drew McIntyre. He just does. So because of this, I'm picking Andrade to be the 2019 WWE Money in the Bank winner. So that is my prediction for that. Now, that is all of the matches that I know of. If there are any matches that come up later, oh well, because honestly, I wouldn't have expected it, honestly. It could be more matches. I honestly don't know. If they add a match, then I obviously won't know what to predict with it. And that is 11 matches that could happen for Money in the Bank 2019. Now, that is it for my predictions. And like I said, I'm going to put all of the winners that I predict to win tomorrow night on Twitter. So if you want to go follow me on Twitter, make sure you check out the description down below and go watch that. And thank you all, especially to Zero and Christian, for showing up. Thank you all for showing up and watching this. If you are going to watch this later on after the live stream goes off, thank you. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below, all the people you think are going to win this. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss whenever I go live on YouTube. And until next time, I'm AndrewMycol, and I will see you guys next time.